All right. So today, we're going to be talking about how we could be turning our phone flipping businesses into more, right? Now, anybody that's worked with me knows that I've always preached that there are a bunch of different ways that you can phone flip, right? I tell people straight up, right? The traditional way of phone flipping, just go ahead and get a phone and just make you $50, $20, $30. It's not going to help you build your business. Yeah, you can list them as used. It's not going to help your business, right? When you're growing and building and trying to successfully phone flip, you got to realize one thing. You're only one person. So whenever you're trying to get to 5,000, or let's say you're trying to get to 10,000 a month, you're not going to be able to do it on your own. And I think that this is something we all have to realize, is that outsourcing is king. Now, me personally, I had to learn this myself. There's been plenty of times where I've tried to take on my whole entire business myself, and every single time I failed. Why did I fail? Not because I wasn't good or I wasn't doing the work. It was actually because I was putting a lot of emphasis on trying to take on every task myself, not realizing that when you try to do everything with your business, you're ultimately going to fail, because you are not the person for everything, and you also are not an octopus. So if you try to take on 8 things all at once, you're never going to be able to be great at least one, let alone 2, 3, or 4, right? So something in your business is going to slack. Now, I want to just stick to the phone flipping aspect right now. Phone flipping is something where I personally got stuck, right? And I see a lot of people getting stuck, especially listening to people online. They either believe they got a phone flip using Facebook ads, Google ads. They believe they got a they got a phone flip using Facebook or eBay. They believe that they got a phone flip a certain way, like making 50 plus profit. But, the elephant in the room is everybody that tries to phone flip is going to suffer a down spiraling at points when they start realizing that they only can meet a certain amount of people a day. Like, think about it like this. We all got 24 hours. We all got the same amount of hours. So how are you going to meet more clientele than me? Well, you could say, oh, I got off. Or you could say, oh, I got a car. Or you could say, I'll spread the people out. Well, okay, and let's just say I meet 5 people a day and you meet 10. Great. But at some point, you're going to get capped out where you're not going to be able to reach more people, right? You might be able to reach 10 people a day. Great. But that's going to keep you with the same amount of clientele. And what I had to actually break out of is realizing that I need to create my phone flipping business into an actual brand, actual business, an actual syndicate. And the first thing, and this is like the first time I'm bringing this to the internet, the first thing that I did was I hit up all of my T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T connects. And today, I'm actually going to be explaining and breaking down to you guys exactly how you could actually start, profit, and build from literally phone flipping in an easy, simple way, okay? Well, it's not simple and it's not easy. I'm lying. This shit is not as simple, but yeah. All right, so boom. We have phone flipping hustle to a business, right? For real. Now, how to build a scalable refurbishing company using B2B carrier deals and details. So I want to unpack this because I know it may sound like a lot, right? Now, this was inspired by you guys. And I want to thank everyone that has liked videos of mine. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed and followed, and especially if you follow my Twitch, because you know that I'm on a journey to getting on Twitch. Educated__hustler is my Twitch. Definitely check it out if you have one. But phone flipping hustle, that's what we all do, where we go and try to meet as many people as possible and make money and use buyers and try to grow. Great. The problem is you're going to get capped out. How do we turn it into a business? Now, this was actually what helped me get my phone store. And I am, for the first time ever on this YouTube channel, about to break down exactly how I did it. Now, I know this may sound like something that you probably are skeptical of, because you're like, well, I know how to turn my phone flipping business into a business. Just go and get phones. No, that's not how you turn it. I'm going to teach you how to make $10,000 a week instead of just making 500, right? Now, the steps, right? We have 6 right here, and I'm going to try to touch on all of them throughout the slide, but I'm going to also, hopefully I remember to come back and revisit this. The steps: branding, building, networking, marketing, and closing, and then leverage, right? So branding, you want a name, logo, mission statement. Building, you want to have a budget, website, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Now, all of this is important. Networking, business cards, walk-ins, phone calls. Now, all of these bullet points are very vague right now, but you'll understand it in a second. Marketing, right? You want to have flyer drops, free ads, paid ads, closing. You want to link businesses together. You want to include deals, leverage. You want to get phones, refurbish phones, and also profit. Now, again, all of this sounds very, very, very vague, and I get it, right? And it's going to sound vague because a lot of people don't even think of doing what I'm about to tell you, right? So first, what is a flipper versus a refurbisher? Well, a phone flipper is somebody that's transactional. They do one-off deals, small profit, right? So you'll go and you'll buy a phone lower than market value. You'll then acquire it, sell it to a consumer or a wholesale buyer. That's it, right? Well, what's a refurbisher? Well, they usually buy in bulk. They have a system, which is them fixing phones, them taking in damaged phones, them selling phones. They have a system. A lot of phone flippers don't have systems. Instead, what they do is they just flip phones whenever they can. They go on OfferUp or Facebook. They do what my videos teach you how to do. They just literally act as an individual. A refurbisher acts as a company. It sort of kind of is where you have an assembly line of steps that takes a phone that you acquire, makes it as great as possible, and then sells it to somebody or sells it to a business. Now, we no longer want to have a mindset of getting one phone. We're talking about getting 100 plus. Okay. Now, I will say this: shifting from chasing individual phones to working with a bunch of phones and turning into a business is a difficult adjustment for some. But what I tend to find is that if somebody actually wants to be profitable and be able to have this as a real income, they typically want to follow these steps. And all of these steps are realistic. So what is a refurbishing company? Well, a refurbishing company buys used or broken phones in bulk, but they also just buy phones in general. It could be new, but you're rarely going to come across new devices. It's usually just going to be devices that are used. I rarely buy broken devices. If anything, the devices usually will have like battery issues, like things like that. And these are from hospitals, from Amazon DSPs, which are the delivery systems that drive Amazon trucks, usually construction sites, healthcares. So healthcare companies I deal with mostly. They have phones and they are very active. And I'm gonna share with you guys how I know. And I'm gonna give you guys as much information. If I do not address something that you're wondering, please do me a favor and ask me, because again, I have so much information to tell you guys about this, but you could be seeing this in a different lens than me, and I'm more than okay with answering any questions, okay? Now, refurbishers, they resell to consumers, businesses, wholesale buyers, and online markets. So right from the rip, you can already see that as a refurbisher, right? Now, again, we're thinking with the boss mindset. You're no longer just selling to a regular consumer or a wholesaler. Now you're opening up to consumers, businesses, wholesalers, and also online. So this is what I actually had to do to start making enough money to be able to provide for my family, to be able to get a warehouse, to be able to get more phone stores. I had to start branching off and realizing that selling to a consumer will never make me enough money to be able to survive. If I'm selling phones to people that barely can afford them, then I'm always going to barely be able to afford my cost of living. And that's like a strong ass realization I had, was realizing that as long as I'm just dealing with regular people like me, I'm going to be regular. But then when I start dealing with businesses, I started understanding leverage. I also started understanding that they have a lot more money than a regular person like me and you, right? All right. So what we're going to learn, right, is the consumer aspect. And I don't want to really say problems. I want to say the consumer wall, right, that a lot of phone flippers have is like inconsistent supply, right? So you don't have a bunch of phones to flip, right? You may only have a few phones a week, or maybe you come across a bunch of phones but barely can convert. Well, this way is going to actually make it more convenient for the person you're getting the phones from to give you the devices, plus make it more convenient for you to buy in bulk. And then if you buy in bulk, you obviously have more leverage, because the more devices you have, the more profit you have, and the more assets you have. The more assets, the more your business is worth. Okay, and I tell people this all the time. I sat down with my accountant the first time when I was first starting to get real money. And my friend told me, he was like, you need to get an accountant. He gave me his accountant's business card. I called him. He invited me to his office. It was right downtown Philadelphia, right above Love Park, biggest office I've ever been in. I walk in this guy's office. The guy says to me, all right, let's break down your finances, Brandon. How much do you have in inventory? And I was like, I got this amount in my account. He said, no, in inventory and assets. And he started breaking down to me how assets are way more important than a liquid you have in your account. Another wall we have is time restraints, right? Think about it like this. You only have 30 minutes to meet with a person usually to be able to maximize your amount of people you can meet a day, right? So that includes you getting in the car. That includes you getting out the car. That includes you meeting up with the person. That includes you doing a deal, researching, making sure the phone is exactly what they said. That includes you leaving, going back to the crib or wherever you're going. That takes some time. So that's a wall that a lot of us have. And then lastly, small quantities. A lot of people only get 1 to 5 phones a day. Some people don't even get 1 to 5 phones a day. They get 1 to 3 phones a week. Now, here's the benefit with the business to business. You get 50 plus phones, so 50 to 100 phones per deal. They're predictable because these people want to upgrade. And then you're getting faster at scaling because you're getting more money, and then it's lower cost per unit. Now, again, I'm going to break down exactly what I'm talking about, but just think of it like this. Let me see what this next slide is. Okay, we're going to get there. I'm not going to say it. We're going to get there. Primary source, right? So small and mid-sized businesses that want to upgrade devices. Now, I want you guys to stay with me now, because now we're about to actually start getting into a little bit in depth with this process, right? I want you to picture this. Me and you watching right now, me and you, we own a trucking company, okay? Me and you. Now, this trucking company that we own, we have 100 phones, okay? Now, from these 100 phones, we are giving them to our employees. So instead of walkie-talkies, we're using phones. So this is how we communicate to our employees to talk about the deliveries and stuff like that, okay? So one day I come to you and I say, hey, driver 64 is having a problem with his phone. It seems like we keep getting cut out. It seems like the phone isn't operating correctly with driver 54 too. So I think we need to upgrade and we need to get new phones, and maybe we need to switch our company. Then you say to me, Brandon, you think we should switch companies right now? All right, let's go shopping. Let's go see, man. So the first thing businesses do when they want new phones is they'll go to their chief financial officer, and that person will then create a budget, right? Or they'll already have a budget in place depending on who they already have their carrier to be, right? So now it's out of our hands. Now we're going to put it and outsource it to the person we've hired to handle our business, right? Our financial business and accounts with our phones. So now this person is looking at how much we're paying per month for our existing phone plan. And remember, we have 100 lines, okay? So now we're looking and searching, and what the chief financial officer does, and his job is to make sure money is good, right? Money ain't funny. So he ends up calling Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and all of these platforms and just getting quotes. But the problem is with this is a lot of in-store reps, people that are, in the stores at T-Mobile, Verizon, and etc., they don't know the business promotions, and also they're not trained to give certain business deals, right? They can't handle lines over 100, right? Or over 12 or 24 or even 15, right? So they got to go and hand you off, or this chief financial officer, the CFO, to a business account executive. All right. So I want you to remember what I just said. Business account executive. I want you to write that down and circle it. Now, the business account executive has one job, and that is to bring as many businesses to said company as possible. So that could be T-Mobile's business account executive, AT&T's business account executive, Xfinity Mobile, Spectrum, what other one? Whatever company, whatever cell phone company, they have business account executives, and their job is to curate, nurture, and also close business leads. Okay. Now, these are not us, right? We're just regular people. We own the company, and we're looking to get some phones. Now we're reaching out to stores. Stores are then going to connect us with the business account executive. Okay. So now that we're getting quotes from the business account executive, we say, hey, business account executive, we need 100 phones. Right now we have iPhone 11s. Okay. We upgraded in 2022, and we are due. Right now we got T-Mobile. All right, cool. Now every business account executive that we're talking to is creating a package. Okay, we could do 100 lines, all brand new iPhone 17s for whatever amount, okay? Customer says, okay, what deals can you do though? So our CFO is saying, well, right now we're paying $500 a month for 2 gigabytes in 50 minutes. How can you help us with our bill? The account executive hashes out a deal, and we're like, okay, cool. What about cases? Oh, cases? Yeah, you can get them for $40 each, or I have a partner. Ding, ding, ding. I have a partner. He will give you cases for $5 each. So $5 each instead of paying the $40 for the cases in your stores. Yeah. So I'll hook you up with them. They'll send you an invoice, and then you pay the invoice. We include the cases with your orders when they get mailed out to you. All right, cool. Let's do that. All right, by the way, what are you planning to do with your phones? What do you mean? Well, like your 100 phones that you have, the iPhone 11s, do you want to trade them in? Yeah, how much would it be if we trade those in? So the account executive goes and looks, and this varies per company, right? And they're like, we'll pay you $25. Wow, that's low. $25 each? Yeah. I don't know. We might as well hang on to them. All right, well, hold on. I got a buyback partner that I'll hit up and see what he can do. That's what the account executive says. Now, the account executive at that point is trying to bring somebody in because he wants to close the deal. The company, us, we want to sell our phones to make our 17s we're going to get cheaper. Think about it. Like, we're already buying these iPhone 17s, but what if we can cut down on some expenses by trading in the iPhone 11s, right? So this is where business to business gets put into phone flipping. You can create a buyback / refurbishing business where now what you're doing is you're partnering with these account executives for them to bring you in on deals that they're having trouble closing because customers want to save some money, right? So the business account executive can't buy the phones. It's against the terms and policies of the companies they work with, right? They can't say, oh, well, I'll just buy the phones from you. Forget AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon, I'll get it, right? They can't do that. They're supposed to get them to trade the phone into these carriers. All right, that's where we come in. We are now going to position ourselves as buyback customers or a buyback company, okay? Now, that example's over, okay? Now I'm about to start talking regular. All right, let's break down and do some math, okay? The reason you want to learn about what I'm telling you right now is because one golden rule you need to remember when it comes to business. Businesses have to spend money. The reason businesses have to spend money is because when businesses spend money, they actually can write off for their expenses, and also they have to, if they have grants, which a lot of businesses do get, they get grants that require them to spend a certain amount of money and spend it on certain things. Communication is one of the things. Communication is actually a need, especially for businesses like healthcares, hospitals. You want to be able to attack these businesses that actually need phones and need devices, okay? So remember that company, us, right? We had iPhone 11s, right? So iPhone 11s obviously right now are not that hot, right? So the business account executive said that they would buy it for T-Mobile or whatever company for $25. What if you came in and you said, I'll buy these phones for $29 a pop, okay? The heck? It's not letting me click it. All right, $29. All right, $29. I don't know why hold on, y'all. This thing ain't working. Am I tripping? It gotta be because I got the slide up. I don't like using the keypad. I like using the mouse. Hold on now. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on now. Cause we gotta get this number. I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys exactly why this type of thing is beneficial. It's looking like something on my keyboard is typing, I think. Yeah. Hold on. Yo, it's always something when I go live, bro. It's always. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shoot. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. My calculator's not working today. What the heck? Oh my God, now the camera not working. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did. Sorry. Hold up. Hold on. All right, we good. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll do this. We'll do this. I'm just going to get my phone. We're just going to do it on my phone. I don't know why it's messing up right now, but I can't control it. Can't control the controllables. I mean, you got to only control the controllables. All right. Hold on. Let me get my phone real quick. And let me put y'all back here. All right. All right. So the way we would do this math is this, okay? The way we would do the math is this. So we know the iPhone 11s that we have, right? Or they have, is the quote for T-Mobile, whatever it was, $25. Let's say we pay $29. Times that by 100, that's going to be $2,900 that we would spend, okay? Now, that's a lot of money to some people, right? Got you. Here's the beautiful part. When you start getting connected with account executives, they, instead of actually having you pay the $29,000 or $2,900, they can actually give credits to them, because T-Mobile business or whatever type of business account executive, they get basically unlimited business credits. And they can do $900, $1,000 towards a person's bill, and the person thinks you're actually giving them that money. All right, but you're not, right? But we're not going to talk about that. $2,900, okay, you are going to give to the healthcare company that has those 100 phones. Now, the reason you're going to do that, and you're going to tell them, well, hey, instead of paying you the cash, we'll pay your first 3 months of your phone bill, which let's say is $500, right? So we're going to actually take that. We're going to pay $1,500 towards your first 3 phone bills. So you get your first 3 bill cycles for free. Now we'll also go ahead and give you $1,400 for all the iPhone 11s. Okay. So then what happens is the business is like, okay, cool. Like we get our first 3 bills paid and we're getting cash. We're in. And then you get the phones. The account executive does everything else with the plan and all that, right? The account executive likes the fact that you came in to buy the phones because now the customer is happy because they know or feel like you're adding some type of value into the deal. Okay, and this is where a lot of people are slipping, and it does take a little bit of explaining for people to understand this because not a lot of people are actually in the loop when it comes to like these type of phone deals. But I'm gonna explain. Now with the iPhone 11s that you brought for $29, you now can sell them for $85 to either another company, a wholesaler, or just regular consumers. So now what you could do is you can go to phone stores, like independent phone stores, regular phone stores like mine, and say, hey, how you doing? We are a refurbishing company and we have iPhone 11s for sale. Did you guys happen to need any iPhone 11s? What's the price? The price for the iPhone 11s are $85 each. And we've done this. Like I have reps that go to stores, go to businesses and try to sell phones, and they do buy them. They might not buy all 100, but they buy as many as they need, right? So 85 times 100, obviously that's $8,500. Well, $8,500, okay? Now here's the biggest thing is you kicked out, hypothetically, $2,900, okay? You make $5,600 literally from that deal. Okay, now here's where people get stuck in that loop. Is they're like, oh my God, well, I can't afford $2,900 to buy those phones. Again, that's where you got to develop a good relationship with the account executive because they could actually finesse, and instead they could be like, all right, Brandon, because remember, the account executive can't buy it themselves because they work for a company. You don't, you work for yourself. So what they'll be like is, all right, Brandon, look, this is what I'm gonna do, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put those 3 months for them. And I'm gonna make it seem like your company is actually paying for it. And then you just give me $400 on the back end. All right, bet. Like, this is what I do. And I tell you guys this because account executives, and these people that work for these cell phone companies, you want to know why they want to do this deal? Because from 100 lines, they get paid like $40 commission each line. So they're already making bread. They just need somebody to come in to provide value. And that's what you do. Now, I'm going to do a whole nother class on reselling and how you can sell like accessories and stuff to businesses. But we're going to stick with this, okay? So this is where, again, and I wanted to break that down because I want you guys to know on the slide what I'm actually teaching you. And I'm really just teaching you the power of utilizing a business for you to be able to make bread. What's up, Andy? What's up? What's up? All right. So now, where the phones actually come from, they come from small, mid-sized businesses, not really enterprise businesses. And enterprise businesses are businesses that are going to be like, man, 1,000 plus, right? They're going to be like 2,000. But see, those type of accounts, they're not handled by business account executive. They're handled by enterprise executives. So it's a different market. Now, I probably deal with one enterprise company a year. And they're a lot. They're like 5,000 phones and things of that nature. I probably make over $15,000 buying phones from them. But that type of deal is way more. You gotta know your numbers and know how you can leverage and stuff. But anyway, right? What's happening is businesses are focused on getting new phones. Old phones become an afterthought. That's where you step in, because they don't value those iPhone 11s or whatever phone as much as we would assume they do, right? Think about it like this. When the last time you got a new phone or an upgrade, and then you ain't thinking about that old phone no more? You're just like, well, how much bang can I get for this? Like, how can this phone knock off more money for another device, right? So that's where you win. Is you are stepping in because businesses are usually using phones for business purposes, therefore they're not so tied into it emotionally, and you're able to just reap the benefit every single time, trust me. All right. Now, the hidden opportunity in the carrier upgrades. So carrier reality, business upgrades through carriers, accounts, reps. So the reality with the carriers is that business executive or that business account executive is going to need you to help them get commission, right? And they need somebody to buy the phones back, because listen, a lot of companies will walk away from T-Mobile, Verizon for another company like Xfinity that will just buy their phones and give them credits and stuff as well, right? But again, these account executives allow you the power to buy phones because they can't, and then cash them out on the back end. Okay. Now, your role is to solve the what do we do with our old phone problem that a bunch of companies have. So hospitals, they have this problem too. Like, hey, they ask the account executive, hey, by the way, what do we do with our old phones? Glad you asked, right? Reps always have discounts, promotions, bill credits, and upgrade incentives for these businesses. So you're always going to reap the benefit, I promise you, okay? Now, building relationships with cellular business reps is very important. Now, you can start this today. Okay? Now, who would you work with? Business account reps, not retail reps. And I want you to listen to what I am about to say, all right? Go into a Verizon, a T-Mobile, AT&T, Spectrum, or an Xfinity store right now. Call right now. Forget it. Don't even go in. Call right now and ask them, hey, I have a business. Can you connect me with a account representative for me to get a quote? I guarantee you they're either going to give you a name, a number, or they're going to take your name and number down, and they're going to say they're going to have someone reach out to you. I guarantee you. I have my reps in my store. Well, not no more because we're connected. But when I first started this, I probably had people calling about 3 stores a day in different areas in Philly to get account representatives. Now, they all work together, to be honest, but you want the one that's going to be lenient, the one that's going to know how to maneuver, the one that's about their bread, okay? So, again, you're going to call these stores or even walk in and say, hey, I got an account, 1,000 lines, I need access to your business account representative. That's exactly what you do. Like, you got to say a big amount of lines so that they're like, oh, man, I'm going to get a good commission. Let me go ahead and connect you. And then when you connect, you say, hey, how you doing, man? Listen, I'm a buyback company. I refurbish phones. I want to work with you. I'll buy phones from the customers that you have. And in return, I'll pay their first bill, or I'll even pay for the phones. Is there some type of deal we can work out? That's it. Facts. This is the quickest way for you to start making thousands of dollars flipping phones without actually having to do a lot of work. Because now the business account executive will bring you into deals that just walk into T-Mobile, Verizon, or wherever they work. Facts. Okay, your pitch: I help your client offset upgrade costs by buying back old devices. Why reps say yes? It helps close the deal faster, adds extra value for their clients, makes them look like the problem solver. Remember, you're not the hero. Who's the hero? Who's the hero? They're the hero every single time, and I'm okay with it, right? So again, guys, the game I'm giving y'all, I know it may sound boring. But I would tell you this right now. The person that watches this and actually puts it into play is going to be the person that's rich in the next 6 months. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. The budget strategy. This is a key, okay? You need a budget. You do. You need some bread, all right? Like, if you got $100 talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work, okay? Now 500, all right, because maybe you can find and I know y'all about to laugh, but maybe you could find a business that got Nextels or got flip phones, and you could buy their flip phones and then you could just resell them. I'm telling you, it works. I'm telling you. Or somebody that got tablets. Like, some people will even sell you their devices for $1. Like, I'm telling you, they just want to get rid of the old device and get something for them, okay? Now, you need a budget. Paying 1 month of the client's phone bill is good. Buying phones at bulk at discounted price, or optional incentives, which we're not going to talk about today, which is cases and accessories. Because again, if you're a phone flipper, glad you know me, because you could also, you can give people cases. You can give these hospitals cases. Like, they love out-of-box style cases, right? So out-of-box style cases probably cost me, I'll give you a good example. Out-of-box style cases cost me around like $3.50, okay? So what I'll do, this is a fact, what I'll do is I'll say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, how many devices do you got? We have 500, okay. What if I told you, as the buyback customer, as the buyback company that this rep brought me into, I will provide you with screen protectors and out-of-box style cases for all of your iPhone 17s. We're gonna take your devices, we're gonna use the amount that your devices are worth to actually fund these $40 cases. How does that sound? Well, so what do you mean? So what I mean is exactly this. Let me show you, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, you have 500 devices. How many devices out of that 500 do you think need cases? So I think that we should get cases for about all of them. Okay, no problem, right? All right, so these cases do cost us $40, as I'm sure you've known. You've been in this store, right? Yeah, occasionally, yeah, you've seen the price of our cases, right? Because now you're acting like T-Mobile or AT&T. Yeah, I have. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna actually cut this price down for you. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, let's say we'll charge $20 per case, okay? So $20 per case times the 500, because you have 500 units. It's gonna be $10,000 for the cases and the screen protectors. But we're gonna knock that down. Instead, what I'm gonna do, what kind of phones do you guys have? We have iPhone 12s. Oh, okay, iPhone 12s. All right, that's gonna be a hard one. Everybody has iPhone 12s? Yeah, okay, all right. So 10,000 for these cases. How can I get these cases and screen protectors to you at an affordable rate? Matter of fact, how about this? You don't have to pay anything for, all right, you don't have to pay anything for the cases or the screen protectors. Is it possible for you to trade in around, like, can you trade in 200 of those phones? Because if you trade in 200 of those phones, right now on my system, it's showing me the iPhone 12s are worth $15. So 15 times 200, I think that's 3,000. What I'll do is, I'll give you these cases for $3,000 and the screen protectors, and also all the cases have warranties. So if any of the customers or your employees damage the cases, we'll replace them for free. Of course, they'll need to, let us know, and then we'll mail them out. But again, $3,000 for these cases, I think we could definitely stretch that out. And what we'll do also is, we'll pick up those devices from you, okay? We'll just literally send you an invoice, have it zeroed out, and just let it be known on the invoice that you did trade in those devices. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is those are simple steps. And again, like, I'm not sure, and like, this is the first time I'm doing this type of content. This is a really, really in-depth business type of interaction, okay? But I'm just explaining to you guys exactly how this type of transaction will go along, and how I make a lot of money phone flipping, right? So not only am I getting phones, right, I'm also giving cases away. And now, you know how I said there's a warranty for the cases, right? So every time the case gets broken, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, all you have to do is pay $5 for that case that's broken. Remember, the cases probably cost me around, what, $3.50. So I'm making $2 profit every time an employee is damaging their case. So now I'm finessing the system in that sense. You get me? So again, these are ways that you could actually use your budgeting strategy. You're not necessarily paying any bread really, because remember, the cases cost us $3.50. So $3.50 times 200, right? It's going to cost us $700, but we're getting 200 phones. So now if we're really thinking about it, 700 divided by that 200, we're paying around $3.50 per iPhone. Even exchange in their eyes. So that's exactly how the budgets work. Do anybody have any questions? Because I know that this is, again, this is new, man. This is new for some people. So the client sees immediate savings. Your inventory is going to definitely boost. And now you got 200 iPhone 12s that you can sell. And now you're unstoppable, because I would just sell all of those 12s for $100 to people and businesses. Now, if I'm selling that for $100, now I'm easily going to be putting myself into a position to not only just make money, but now I can build from that 20,000, I can build a new budget for a new company, right? So now out of that 20,000 that I just made off of that one deal, I'll take 10,000 and then I'll put it back into the next deal. So now I'm looking for a customer. I'll tell the account executive, yo, listen, check this out. Bring me into the next deal where a customer has like an iPhone 14 and they want to sell iPhone 14s. I give you 500. I give you 500 off the bat, bro. See, you gotta understand, this phone game is all about who you know, and it's all about who you feed. I just paid somebody and wired them $10,000. I made like around 29,000 off of a deal with a business. I don't want to specify the business, but with a business that has something to do with snow removal. And that 29K, I probably paid that rep around 4,000. So that rep happy, bro. That's way more than they get off their check, right? So again, it's not as peaches and cream and easy just in general, but you might start up with smaller deals, but I'm giving you guys insight on how big it can get, okay? The incentive stack, right? So you're offering the business client 1 month of their phone bill paid, cash for their old phones, free cases or accessories. The result, client upgrades their phones, which you have nothing to do with. The rep closes the deal. They like you. They start banging with you more. You walk away with 50 to 100 devices. You're straight. Remember, the rep, the account executive, can't walk away with those phones because they work for a company. But what they can do is they could be like, yo, B, yeah, I got a customer that want iPhone 12s. They're looking for 50 of them. You want to sell them to them, and then we just put the service on those phones? Oh, yeah, we can do that. I'm giving y'all too much fucking game. I'm giving y'all too much game, bro. I gotta chill. I gotta chill, bro. I gotta chill, bro. Yo, like this video for me, y'all, because I'm really giving game. I'm not going to lie. I really am. Like, this is stuff that I'm not supposed to be talking about. I'm being serious. I'm not supposed to be talking about this. I'm not. I'm messing my own business up talking about this. Because there are a few account executives that follow me. And they're going to be like, why are you telling people this, bro? All right. How the deals flow, right? So you connect with a carrier business rep, right? So you call T-Mobile right now or after this live and you say, hey, quick question. I have about 500 lines. Who would I talk to if I wanted to get a account with you guys? Oh, you would talk to da-da-da-da. His number is blah, blah, blah. Or can I have your number, email, and your name, please? I'll happily connect you to them. Yes, please. Please do. Please do. I'm trying to make a bag. Please do. You feel me? Next, the rep introduces you to the person, right? The business account executive now is your friend, and you're like, hey, listen, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, I don't got an account. This is what I be saying. I don't got an account for you, bro, but I got a business for you, my guy. We gonna do some good. And sometimes when the people answer, now you gotta understand, it's January, one of the slowest months for all phone carriers. So if you do this right now, right, when you are connected with that business rep, the first thing I want you to say on the phone is this. I want you to say this. Yo, we about to make a lot of money. That's all I want you to say. All I want you to say to them is, yo, we about to make a lot of money. Dude, huh? Yeah, how are you, man? My name is Brandon, and guess what? I have a buyback company. I was referred to you by one of your reps in the store. I buy back phones. But not only that, I'm willing to pay 3 months, 5 months for customers' bills if you bring me on. What do you mean if I bring you on? So it's just simple, bro. Like, I know that you have a lot of companies that hit you up and they want to sell their phones, right? I want to buy phones. I have a bunch of capital and I'm trying to use it, but I want to get a partner, right? Somebody that comes across these businesses and somebody that actually has a way in. And you seem to be the person, the guy, right? I heard a lot about you. Do you have any business clientele that you're working with right now? I got a few. Yeah, cool. Anybody that wants to actually upgrade? Yeah, I got some. All right, cool. Let's do this, bro. What phones they got? You see how I start asking discovery questions? What phones they got? Well, they got I got one customer. They got some Galaxies. Cool. That ain't no problem, bro. I'll buy them. You'll buy them? Yeah, I'll buy them. What do you mean? I'll buy the phones, my guy. Listen, I'm trying to do this business one way. I'm trying to do it to where you benefit and me too. I have no problem paying you. Yo, I'm telling you, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down on that because we're gonna say that for another. I don't want to get too much information. I'm gonna slow down a little bit. But next, right? So then the business account executive is gonna introduce you to some clients, right? And then the clients are gonna be like, oh, this is what happens. It's on a Zoom or usually on like a Microsoft, like a Microsoft meeting. I forget what they call them. A meeting maker, right? And what happens is you get on there and you get on there in a nice little sweater or whatever. You be like, hey, how are you? Yes, my name is Brandon. I'm from WESPOI, or my name is Joseph and I'm from da-da-da, whatever your company name is, right? And you say, yeah, I'm gonna buy back. I'm gonna buy back the phones, right? And yeah, that's how that works. Okay. Now, next, right? You're gonna buy back the phones. You're then going to apply the incentives, whether you're paying cash to the client or because you're buying the phones, or whether you work something out with the business rep and you be like, yo, bro, look, put a credit on a bill. I'll pay you cash. I'm telling you. I know y'all probably like, yo, B, what the hell are you talking? Listen, bro, listen. I just paid somebody. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. But just listen, bro. Listen, bro. Y'all want to know really how to make this money? Y'all want to know? Because it ain't going on offer up, bro. That ain't how you, that's the difference. We ain't talking about a few hundred. We talking about a few thousand. Y'all want to know how to make this bread or not? I'm telling you. You don't got to transfer no information. You don't got to clock in. You don't got to do nothing. Okay. Let's move on. What conditions are the phones in? They're always fully functional. You want to know why? Because customers, right, with businesses, they always have a insurance plan on their business lines. And they also make sure that their business phones are always optional, they're always operational? No, that's not a word. They're having a brain. They're always functioning. Now, here's the thing, right? Is if it is damaged, guess what we do? We just take some bread off. Okay. You don't need the phone to be perfect because all we're doing is reselling them. The refurbished process, right? So let's say you get a phone that's a little messed up. You get some iPhone 12s. Obviously, they're going to have some bad batteries. Okay? They're going to have bad batteries. That's a fact, especially if the people are using them for work. Like tablets, prime example. I just brought probably about 90 tablets, and they're like the iPhone. I said iPhone. They're like Gen 4. Like they're boo-boo tablets. They're not that good, but I brought them, right? And now, I have a benefit because obviously I have my own stuff in my own repair business. But if I didn't, I would just have people I would pay probably like, so an iPad battery is like $8. I'll probably pay $25, $30, maybe even $40 per pad just to get the batteries fixed. But you could do that. You could do that. How can I say this? You could do this in phases, right? Like you could be like, oh, hey, repair shop, I don't repair phones or tablets or whatever. I need iPhone batteries fixed. But here's the catch. I got 100. The repair shop gonna be like, what the heck? You got 100? I have 100. I need a wholesale price. That's it. That's it. Or you can just buy the batteries online, go into a store. Usually they'll be like, oh no, we don't want to affect the phone because we use our own parts. But if you are bringing in 100 phones, and repair shops are hurting right now. So you bring in some phones and all they see is dollar signs. I'm telling you. Only fix what increases resale value. All right, selling repairs without doing everything yourself. So you want to use local repair stores. You want to outsource with products and only repair phones you know you're going to have a high ROI, okay? Rate on return or rate on investment, a return on investment. Where you resell the phone. So I think I don't want to confuse people. So like I want to focus on sort of kind of how to acquire the phones more than where to sell them. But if I was going to break down the slide just a little, I want you guys to think about it like this. Once you had the phones and you spent that bread, those phones are yours. And I also want you to know they're all unlocked. You can sell these phones where and to who the hell you want. That's the beauty of it. Okay, and these are just some options of where you can. Okay, now, why do this though? Like, obviously, you get more inventory, it's faster, way better profit margins, you're utilizing a network, and you're kind of plugged in. Like, once you start doing this, you'll start realizing your bread will go up. And yeah, you can't, scared money don't make no money. I'm telling you that right now. So don't be scared to spend no bread, bro. I'm telling you. Because you may spend that little 500 and you're going to get 5,000 back. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, you don't have to do this right now, but when you start dealing with this amount of cash, you want to create a business entity. I would suggest the LLC. Then you want to do your business account, because every time you do these things and you make these sales and all that, you want to have an invoice and you want to make sure that the money is coming directly from your account, because it's all a tax write-off because you're just buying inventory, including the repairs. This is like the best business model for somebody that actually wants to make money. Common mistakes to avoid: overpaying for inventory. Don't pay over $50 for any phones. I don't even care if they're iPhone 17s. Especially if you're buying 100 plus. We don't spend that much bread, right? Fixing phones, that shouldn't be fixed. You don't have to fix every phone. It's okay if phones are messed up. It's just you want them to function. You don't want to ignore any reps either, because they do. Once you start actually doing this, your name will get around and people will start hitting you up crazy. So make sure you have an email that people can hit you up at. And then next is not having no money. You need money. You need cash. All right. And then don't try to scale before you actually get your first transaction, right? Take your time, bro. I'm telling, just trust what I'm saying, bro. Whether you watch this now or later, just trust what I'm saying. I'm telling you, bro. Like, this is like, when you start actually doing this, you're going to start making money. And I think that you're going to get to the point to where you can quit your job. Like, if I was somebody at a 9-to-5, and I'm not lying, if I was somebody at a 9-to-5, I would use my full check to do this. I swear to goodness, I would. Because it's a very low risk. Very low. Because you're dealing with businesses. You're not dealing with people. You see what I'm saying? And don't chase phones, y'all. Don't chase these people. All you have to do is literally call the cell phone businesses around you. Okay? Now, I do need your help. What do you guys want to learn next? Okay? I'm going to do, this is a series. This is not the end, because I do want to work on talking more of business to business, because I'm really trying to help you guys learn the foundation of how to actually break these generational curses. As far as like, I know we all talk about, oh, this is how you flip phones, and this is how you, bro, you flip and make bread by dealing with businesses. Which of the next topics do you guys want me to do a live on? Okay. How to approach carrier reps, how to structure your first business to business deal, price bulking pieback. So how do you actually figure out the prices? Repair versus resale decision framework. So do you want me to talk about how you decide if you want to repair the phone or just resell it? Whether you're watching now or later, I want you to comment below which one you want me to cover next. Okay. And I'll save this one for the last one, because it helps me know like if you actually watched the whole thing, right? Because if you did watch this whole thing, you obviously want to make bread and you're literally trying to create a business. Now, this ain't no drop shipping bullshit. This isn't no get quick rich stuff. This is a legitimate business structure that I'm talking about. Now, of course, I'm just telling you on a YouTube live. So obviously it's a little vague because I'm not sitting with you one-on-one, but these videos that are coming up will help you when it comes to you actually being able to start this business. I promise you. All right. So let me know what businesses or what video topic you want out of these for next. Okay. Me personally, I'll tell you what I think that we should do next. And I'll do this every Saturday. Saturday will be our business to business day, where I'm actually talking about how to. So next Saturday, I'm already talking about how to actually resell electronics to businesses. Right? Like how I sell chargers to hospitals and I make a bunch of money in my sleep. Because you have some businesses that will order products every single month, same day, every single month, it comes automatically. So like in my account, there's a like maybe 2 or sometimes, I think 1 fell off. So it's like 2 or 3 major businesses that just send money to my account every single month on the same day. And all I do is ship them chargers. You know, real life, true story. I have about 7 accounts right now. No lie. I'm telling the truth, right? That get these. They get these. And they get these. I sell these for $5. I have my reps go into their business and then they put it in the little, where you just walk into a business and, that thing. They put it in there. I'm charging people $5. They're paying me. Because y'all think I'm playing. Let me show y'all. Let me give y'all a realistic amount, okay? Hold on. So I have a home health care that has 23 orders. So they order 23 every 2 weeks, right? 23 times the 5, that's 115 times 2, because they do it every 2 weeks because obviously they're using it a lot, right? Times 12. Without me having to do anything, they're wiring $2,760 to my account off of hand sanitizer. You want to know how much this hand sanitizer cost me? Y'all can't tell nobody. Like, don't tell them, right? But it cost me 90 cents. Okay, so 90 cents minus the $5. So, oops. Why is my? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. So, $410. I'm not really great at math, just to let y'all know. 23. That's $94 every 2 weeks. Times that by 12. So yeah, $2,263.20 being wired. And that's literally off of hand sanitizer. So next Saturday, that's what I'm planning to do as far as that business to business. But then we're going to alternate. Every other Saturday, we're going to talk business to business with different, either phone flipping or reselling, okay? So I just need to know which one you guys want me to cover next, so that we can actually start deep diving into how we can start actually making money, right? My goal is always to make sure that I am making better content, obviously, but also giving you guys the opportunity to learn from where I'm making money, you know, where I'm succeeding, okay? So just let me know which one and just comment that below, all right? Now, if you're just joining, rewind this and watch it. I'm just telling you, I just dropped some man. I dropped some all right? I dropped some I said some I said some I wasn't supposed to say. Like I said some that is secret. Facts. 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 All right? Now, with that being said, I do have something to say. So, this morning, I woke up next to a new thing, okay? I woke up next to something. It's not me. No, I'm not gonna say it's me. So, somebody woke up next to somebody, and then that somebody was on their phone. And that somebody had $5.25 in their account. The person looked over and was like, oh snap, they only got $5.25 in their savings and $0.83 in their check-ins. And then they sat back and watched, because this person just woke up and looked at their account and saw $5 in their savings and 83 cents in their checkings. Stick with me. Then they sat there and observed what they did next. And you want to know what they did next? What they did next was go on TikTok and watch TikTok. Why am I saying this to you? The reason I'm saying this to you guys is because it is a very dangerous time to be a bum. I'm not saying that person's a bum, but analyze the behavior that people around you show. Why? Well, the reason is because sometimes people display certain behavior that can rub off on you. Sometimes people do things, and I know maybe we don't necessarily view it as that way, but sometimes people that are unproductive can make you unproductive. And I know you don't think that it's true. A lot of us don't, but it is. The energy that you allow around you from your friends, people that you deal with, or whatever, I'm telling you right now, it can rub off on you. Andy, thank you. Thank you, thank you. That honestly, this is because of you, man. You inspired this video, man. Shout out to Andy. He did inspire this video. He asked me a question, and I think it was a great idea of teaching more business to business, right? So hopefully people enjoy this, right? I probably will clip it up a little bit because I know it's long and drawn out, and a lot of people nowadays don't even want to pay attention to anything but drama and things that are entertaining. But still, this is a great one. This is a great video. Like, I really love the topic. But back to what I was saying, like, what I realized today, and I like to always, before I cut off my lives, I like to tell you guys things that I realized, because, like, why the hell am I on YouTube if I'm not going to if I'm not going to give you guys insight into, like, things that just cross my mind or things that I go through, right? So what I've recently started to realize is that, like, and I lie to you not. Now, this part I'm talking about me. The other part I wasn't talking about me. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about an example. My dog is doing something. Hold on, y'all. Hustle. Cage. Cage. All right. So, the reason I'm saying this, though, all jokes aside, is because there needs to be some type of accountability that we start holding ourselves with us allowing other people that don't have shit going on around us to exist. I have to do better. What I've done recently, and I did it this week. I lie to you not. I did it this week. I've realized that I was allowing people around me that weren't doing shit. I swear. I was allowing people around me that actually had nothing going for themselves. And I was worrying about like trying to control certain things. And then when I started to actually, when I started to let things go, right? Like I just started to just let shit go. Like, stop worrying about trying to control things. Stop worrying about trying to motivate people. Stop worrying about, because it's like, you know, a lot of people, even my friends, they're like, oh yeah, Brandon, you should motivate this, or you should do that, and this, then the third. Like they'll come to me for motivation. But it's like, I don't motivate people on purpose, and I don't think that I'm a motivator. I'm just somebody that really be talking real shit. You feel me? Like, I don't got a big following, and I'm not trying to change people's lives. If I'm going through some shit or I see some shit, I speak on the shit. If I feel like my friend is being a bullshitter or telling me a bullshit, or I feel like my friend ain't doing the shit that he need to do, I usually would say something. But the problem that I usually have is I keep trying to save motherfuckers, and you cannot save certain people. So this week I did something. I changed something this week because I started to slip on my work. Like I stopped going and inspecting what I expect with my business is as much, right? Because I was so focused on trying to like protect the outcome from someone, you know. I was trying to prevent somebody from hurting themselves, not like physically, you know what I mean, but like doing dumb shit that would hurt them, right? I'll give you a good example. My cousin, he got a gambling problem or something. So yeah, my cousin's gambling so much, and I keep telling him, bro, get off the John, because you gambling too much, man. Get off the phone, get off the... But every time I start getting upset when I see him doing it, after I told him not to do it. Because I feel like now you playing me, because I'm literally trying to help you, and you're not helping yourself. So like, that's a good example of what I had to stop doing. And a lot of us have to stop doing that, because you want to know what happened to me this week when I stopped doing it? I went live more, created better content, was able to hold myself accountable with things that I've been lacking on, and also focus more. Before I went live, I had somebody trying to distract me from going on live. So yeah, I think that's something interesting that we can all take away, you know? Stop allowing motherfuckers to get in your way. Because you're great. They're not. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes you got to realize, and that's not for everybody, right? But sometimes you got to realize that you're fucking great, but the people you're around aren't. You have two choices. Become like them or stay how you are. But you can't coexist with people that don't exhibit great behavior and think that you're just going to always exhibit great behavior because you have discipline. No. Failures hang out with failures. Successful people don't hang out with failures. That's a fact. Sharp pencils don't just hang out with dull ones. Doesn't make sense. All right, y'all. So I love y'all, man. Thank you for tapping in, man. I know this was an earlier live. It's something that was on my heart, and I felt bad yesterday that I didn't go live. But I have a parent-teachers conference with my children, and then that wiped me out. My son did pretty good in school, so I wanted to enjoy, you know, some time with him. So I didn't go live yesterday. But yeah. I'm very happy I went live, and I'm happy that I got to spend some time with you guys. Again, thank you to everybody that has been watching my videos, showing love. It means a lot to me. Comment below, though, on this video exactly what you guys want to see next from that last slide I just shown, those topics, so I can figure out what we're going to cover. All right? Thank you guys so much for watching, man. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.